My name's Belinda Adams and I am an advocate for those affected by brain injury. My son Dylan sustained a traumatic brain injury from a motor vehicle accident in March 2012. I was on a flight to Broken Hill. I got off the plane to be told the horrific news. He also suffered a fractured spine, broken ribs, but most significant of all was the traumatic brain injury. He initially was not expected or predicted to survive the night. It was that severe. He spent 2 weeks in a coma before transferring to the neuro ward, where he spent 4 weeks before going on to the brain injury rehabilitation unit at the PA hospital. I found it challenging that when Dylan was ready to go to rehabilitation, at that time there were no beds available, so then he was bed blocking. The care he received during that time was unbelievable. The staff and the therapists were amazing, and I wanted to do more, so I contacted my friend Kerry, who has a lot of experience in brain injury rehabilitation. She sent me a book by Norman Deutsch, The Brain That Changes Itself.
I was totally impressed with Belinda's total commitment that Dylan would survive this, and to have such a powerful advocate by his side. Personally, I feel that is what has pulled Dylan through this.
As I started getting projects for him to do to help him rehabilitate while he was at home, so that he was using his brain, I bought him an old car that he worked on as a project. It was never really going to be a car that was going to be driven. Dylan did try to go back to the kind of work that he was doing before his accident, but due to fatigue that was not really a good fit for him anymore. So at that point we tried to get Dylan assessed as having a disability so he could access disability services, and they would advocate for him, and he found the perfect fit at the PA hospital, and he's now working there as a wardsman. He's actually sometimes even worked in the brain injury rehabilitation unit in the neuro ward, where he's able to offer hope to people. Once Dylan had regained his independence and was working in a supportive environment, I knew it was time for me to set off on the bus trip and try to give back. And I wanted to pass on everything that I've learned to others, and some other people that I know of who've not been that lucky, especially people in regional areas who don't have the services that we have in the city. I drove through 6 states and territories in 32 days and covered over 8,000 kilometres. I visited various rehabilitation centres. I went to hospitals and delivered resources and booklets. I really underestimated the impact that bus trip was going to have, and the amount of people who came out all over the country just wanting to be heard. So many people missed out on rehabilitation, or they have not had the services there that they need to help them. This year we did the Bay to Brisbane bike ride for brain injury, and next year we're hoping to build that up even bigger. Road Safety Awareness Week flows on after Brain Injury Awareness Week, so for me it was kind of like a dual message. A lot of brain injuries are sustained from motor vehicle accidents or motorcycle accidents. I think that society overall is uneducated on brain injury. I know I was, until I experienced it firsthand. You often have to prove to the services you're applying for that you actually need help, because you appear to be normal. And I know in our own circumstance it was a real battle to get recognised as having a disability, which Dylan really needed. One of the most important messages that people need to understand about people that have an acquired brain injury is their intelligence has not been affected. Their cognitive skills may have been affected. Their speed in which they can process has been affected. They suffer from fatigue, but their intelligence remains the same.